about new units. New units start off with the desire to provide scouting for needy youth that need the program. That's one of the reasons that a lot of units start up. And I'm going to put down below some notes, okay? So go ahead and check those out. There's also links down there for the national website that has all of that information in it. Now, before the pandemic that we've all gone through, a lot of that has already been spelled out for recruiting. There's a lot of ways to recruit. There's different things going on in recruitment. Now, the pandemic, unfortunately, eliminated a lot of units. So there are chartered organizations out there wanting to restart a new unit. They might have all the equipment, all the tents, the Pinewood Derby track, all of that thing, the flag, all that stuff. Only they don't have the leaders or the youth to actually have a unit. So let's talk a little bit about that process. Now, when we talk about engaged charter organizations, we want to make sure that they are able to uphold their end of their commitment. A lot of times that has to do with having a meeting place, different ways of recruiting leaders and going through the vetting process so that they are engaged in their unit. So it's critical to have one that's active. The second big hurdle that a lot of new units have to face is leadership. You need at least 5, and 3 of those are what they call the key 3. That is really important. Now, these are fully trained, youth protection trained, and trained for their basic positions. So they can go through the other training as they go through their first year. That's totally fine. But these adults need to commit to going to the meetings, to actively doing the job that they're doing. There's 5 of them that are critical. The first 3 that are critical, what we call the key 3, is the charter organization representative. They're the ones that are going to be, in essence, the owner of the unit. They need to be involved in what the unit is doing. The second major position is the committee chair. The committee chair actually runs the committee meeting. They make the minutes, they make sure that all of the activities are monitored and that the leadership is heard. So these are things that they do, and they go through all that training. And those are the first 2 big ones. The last one, not the least, but the last one is the unit leader. Now that in a Cub Scout pack would be the Cub Master. Then in a troop, it would be known as the Scoutmaster, and so on. So that is the unit leader. Those are the key 3. And of that, there are 2 more, minimum 2 more, that need to be involved. Now, these are usually parents that come forward and they fill all 5 positions. Now, usually with the parents, if it's a pack, it's assistant den leaders. With a troop, it could be an assistant scoutmaster. It could be committee people. So there's tons of positions out there. So, but the minimum is 5. You can't register without 5 adult leaders. Now, another big thing that a lot of people don't think about is a unit commissioner. Now, normally with a new unit, you have a new unit commissioner that's appointed by the district commissioner, or even the council commissioner could be involved. Now, if they don't appoint somebody, they can always fill in that particular position. And their job is to make sure that they give the right tools to the leadership to do the job. So that's the thing. They want the unit to succeed. That's their goal. That's the big thing. Now, finally, the last part is 10 youth that are going to register as scouts. Now, whether it be Cub Scouts, troop, Scouts BSA, it really depends. But you need at least 10 to have a good functioning unit. There are some cases where they will accept less, but 10 is the recommended amount. You have to get clearance below 10. 10 is the way you need to get your new unit up and rolling. Now think about it. That could be several dens in a Cub Scout pack, or it could be a patrol, all new of course, but it could be one patrol for a troop. These are the bare minimums. Now there's all kinds of paperwork. I'm going to put a link below in the description that will actually go through the process. There's a book, a PDF that you can go through for new unit and learn all of the ins and outs of starting up a brand new unit. So, believe it or not, scouting is apolitical, if anything, okay? They don't associate with any party, okay? They don't, okay? They just don't. That's not scouting, okay? Scouting has a scout oath and scout law. Those are the core values that we believe in. Now, if they match up to some other organization, fine, but they don't endorse it, okay? So it's not a part of it. We, as scout leaders, are far more concerned with flag ceremonies, okay? Recognizing this wonderful country we live in, okay? That's the core values. And if you look at the application when you join scouting, regardless of where you are in scouting, a pack, a troop, a crew, whatever, they use an application, and in there is this line: citizenship activities are encouraged, but partisan politics activities are prohibited. That makes it very clear where scouting stands. Some people see things that are not there. We know that, okay? You and I know that. What is there is quite simple. Partisan politics is not allowed. We, as scouters and scouts, believe in the scout oath and scout law. There are 3 promises that are part of the scout oath. There are 12 key words in our scout law, and we live by them. We try to incorporate them in everything that we do. All of that supersedes politics. Regardless of an affiliation or a partisan political point of view, as long as it matches with the scout oath and scout law, it's irrelevant. Now, the scout oath and the scout law don't stop at the door after the scout meeting. It continues on. All scout leaders, all scouting youth, are expected to incorporate that into their lives. And that's true at home, at work, out in the community. This is very critical to the core values of scouting. Everything that you do should reflect back on the scout oath and the scout law. The part in the scout oath where it says to help others at all times, it doesn't define others. That's everyone. That's plain and simple. It's right there. To help others at all times. So political points of view and all that kind of stuff, that does not apply. Now, you and I both know that out in the world there are individuals that say things that is hateful and mean and meant to get a negative response. So we have to think about that and reflect back on it using the scout oath and scout law. Now, these heated discussions are not exclusive to individuals. They can be done on the internet. It can be done through phone mail. It can be done through emails. It can be, it's endless where this occurs. So as scout leaders, as scouts, we all need to think about the scout oath and scout law. If I reply to that person's rant, is that being courteous? Maybe. Is that being kind? Maybe not. Is that a friendly thing to do? If you come back with the same hateful speech, then it's not good. That's not good. That's not being a part of scouting, okay? And that's why scouting supersedes all of the other political stuff. Scout oath, scout law, core values. Simple. Now that's not to say that scouts can't be in a parade, okay, doing a flag ceremony for an event. But as soon as the parade is done, the scouts should leave, especially if it's a parade that's politically charged, okay? If it's something like a holiday parade or something like that, that's fine. But if it runs into an issue where political stuff starts to occur, we don't want to be endorsing it, so we need to leave, okay? And that's fine. We need to do our civic duty. We need to do American kind of things. Salute the flag, lead the audience in the Pledge of Allegiance. These are civic good things that scouts do. But as soon as they're done, they need to leave the stage. Because if you stay on the stage, just your presence could be an endorsement. So you can be active, but don't be out there endorsing it just by being present. So that's the key. And we want our scouts to hold the flag in high regard. We want our scouts to lead other Americans in the Pledge of Allegiance. These are things that we believe in, okay? I got a lot of heat because 2 seasons ago, I put an American flag in the background. I love the thing. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I love the stars and the unity of America. I love that. I love that. And scouting endorses that type of patriotic behavior. Does not go political. It stops with the scout oath and scout law. That's what we are. That's what we're about. So consider that. The next time there's something that's mean or hateful out there, please think about the scout oath and scout law that we live by. It's very important. Talk about commissioners. Commissioners are really rare. Do you know who your commissioner is? You have one, It's not me. I have my units, all right? I've got several units. Commissioning is one of those things that a lot of scout leaders may not know about. Now let's talk a little bit about commissioners. I was in a meeting, an online meeting, like a Zoom meeting or something like that, and someone said that they were coming up with a program called Homegrown Commissioners. Really sparked my interest. And I've often thought that this was a good idea. I'm constantly amazed by how many scout leaders have never met their unit commissioner. It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking, okay? That is one of those things that, as a scout leader, this is a thing that these commissioners are literally there to help you succeed. That's what's so cool about it. You need to know who your commissioner is. Every scout unit that's chartered has a unit commissioner that signs on the paperwork that they are your unit commissioner. Now, unfortunately, we have an extreme shortage of commissioners. Of the 120,000 8,000 scout units that are out there. We have just about 8,000 commissioners. That's a ratio of about 15 to 1. There's no way they can get around. So a lot of times the district or the council commissioner signs in place, hopefully trying to find somebody from the unit to become a commissioner, to be the commissioner for that unit. Unfortunately, a lot of times that does not work out, and they just don't have a unit commissioner, enough of them to go around. And a lot of times the unit commissioner, especially the district unit commissioner, they will actually take the unit commissioners and put them where they're needed the most. And that's, and if it's not a sign that your troop is doing poorly if your unit commissioner visits on a regular basis. I try to visit all of my units, and they're all doing just fine. Okay, some have issues, and we're working on them. So that's the wonderful thing. A lot of times they just have to, the district commissioner has to send the unit commissioners to troops that are having a problem. And that is no way, that's not the scouting way. We need commissioners to be there. Now, commissioners predate the professional scouts. So the scouters that are out there, your district executive, your all the people at the scout office, commissioners came before them, long before them, okay, years, okay, and a lot of those commissioners back in that time became professional. So they predated all of that, the commissioner system, that whole system. In fact, I'm going to put a video up there, okay? Don't go there right now, but it explains a little more about all of the things that went on with early commissioners, okay? That is critical. You need to definitely check out that video. Now, commissioners, because they predated the professionals, that's a core thing in scouting. Commissioners are meant to work with the unit to help them succeed. That's really their goal. They are there to help the unit succeed. And it's incredible to me. All of that is just incredible. The devotion of the commissioner staff going out and helping units, packs, troops, crews, ships, all of them. Now, there are some commissioners that are at roundtable. There's usually a Cub Scout roundtable commissioner and a Cub Scout troop commissioner. There could be one for the venturing. There could be one for ships. So for Sea Scouts. So that's all a part of the roundtable. Definitely need to go to that. Need to meet with those individuals helping with that continuing training. And again, let me go to the roundtable video. You see how important that really is. Now, one of the big things that I want to stress with Homegrown Commissioner is that so many people are absolutely afraid of getting involved. They might mess up. Oh, no, that's not the case. You want to make sure that you get the adults involved. This is critical to the success of any unit. A commissioner can be homegrown. You could actually create one for your unit. And if your unit is linked, or if your unit is has a pack or a crew, that same commissioner could be used for all of those positions. And that's the wonderful thing. If you have a lot of units, don't realize all the talent that they actually have. This is super critical stuff. Once you've been trained and you know the Scoutmaster or Cub Master position, you know that. You do that for a few years, and a lot of troops have term limits. They'll say that the Cub Master has to change every 5 years, or the troop might have something in their bylaws that where the adult leadership actually changes. So that could be something. Instead of them just going out the door with all that experience, that's the one you want to turn into a unit commissioner. They can still participate. They can go camping. That's one of the things. They can still be a part of the wonderful thing that scouting is. That's the neat thing about commissioner work. And there's no reason to have them right off into the sunset. Now, some people, they want to leave, okay? And that's fine. That's fine. But they should give a few years back as a unit commissioner, whether it be for your unit or some other unit. That is critical. We need commissioners. I'm putting it out there. If you're an adult leader that's been in your position for a long time, think about commissioner work. You can give those great life lessons to other adult leaders. You can say, hey, I've been there. I've been at camp when that happened. This is how I did it. This is how I handled it. These are things you can do. You can also, it's the connection between the unit, the district, and the council. Okay? This is the person that's in between. So a lot of times they'll have all that experience. That's the person you want as your commissioner. Now, there is another end to that, okay? And I'm all great for that. There are parents out there that have natural leadership ability. They want to do things, but unfortunately all the leadership positions are filled, except your commissioner, okay? And a lot of people say, oh, well, don't you need experience? You know, a lot of times it may not be that it's a matter of training them. It's a matter of getting them involved, getting them trained, but not breaking bad habits. That might be something you might have from somebody with a ton of experience. So there's a lot of pros and cons to that, okay? And I'm sure that you are going to put them in the comments, okay? But there's a lot of that stuff going on, and I want you to really think about growing your own unit's commissioner. Now, if you have a commissioner, I want you to definitely let them know, okay, that you appreciate their help. You appreciate them. Have something for them to work on. Okay, it could be something to do with recharter. It could be something to do with recruiting. It could be something to do with you name it. Okay, there's a lot of different things that can be worked on, and they can be there to help. A lot of times a commissioner will be there just to watch a meeting. Just to, they'll watch a meeting and they might give a little coaching to the scoutmaster or the assistant scoutmasters. They might help out at a committee meeting. These are things that commissioners are very useful for. So definitely think about a homegrown commissioner. You can do this, and you do so much work for your unit, for the troop. It is critical that you keep that good work going. And could you imagine doing all of that work with no help? Think about that. That's really hard. A commissioner can help you. It can help you. They can guide you. So that's the wonderful thing about a unit commissioner. Look into it. Okay, you do a lot of work for your unit. You can't keep that level up without help, right? Honestly, right? Think about commissioner work. It is a wonderful thing, okay? And they can help you. So, that being the case, I will see you on the trail.